15. Black celebrities who secretly born male. What if I told you that some of the most beloved black celebrities in Hollywood were not born the way the world sees them today? Behind the glitz and glamour lie shocking truths. 15 stars who were secretly born male but fought against stigma, rejection, and silence to live as the powerful women they are now. Their stories are filled with pain, courage, and triumph, rewriting what it means to survive in an unforgiving industry. Are you ready to uncover the secrets Hollywood never wanted you to know? Hit subscribe, like, and join Legends of Black Excellence for the full truth. Laverne Cox. Laverne Cox's story is one of courage, artistry, and resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. Born on May 29, 1972 in Mobile, Alabama, she entered the world as Roderick Laverne Cox, assigned male at birth in a deeply conservative community with little understanding of gender diversity. Raised by a single mother and her grandmother, Laverne grew up knowing she was different. By the age of 5, she was already gravitating toward expressions of femininity, a tendency that subjected her to harsh discipline, ridicule, and bullying from her peers. These experiences created both pain and a spark of determination. She understood early that living authentically would demand extraordinary strength. Her first outlet for expression came through dance. Laverne attended the Alabama School of Fine Arts, where she studied classical ballet and discovered a deep passion for the stage. She later earned a scholarship to Marymount Manhattan College in New York City, a move that would change her life forever. New York's vibrant LGBTQ+ community gave her both the freedom and the support to explore gender identity openly. During these years, she began her medical and social transition, stepping into the woman she always knew herself to be. The journey was not easy. Financial hardship, rejection, and systemic prejudice were constant hurdles, but her vision of living authentically never wavered. Her breakthrough came in 2013, when she was cast as Sophia Bursay, a transgender inmate on the hit Netflix series Orange is the New Black. The role was revolutionary, as mainstream television had rarely portrayed a black trans woman with depth, dignity, and complexity. Cox's performance was celebrated widely and led to her becoming the first openly transgender person to receive a Primetime Emmy nomination for acting. That historic recognition transformed her into a cultural icon, a symbol of what was possible for trans representation in Hollywood. Do you think Laverne's rise helped open doors for other trans actors who were once invisible to the industry? Beyond acting, Cox has been a tireless advocate. She appeared on the cover of Time magazine in 2014 with the headline, "The Transgender Tipping Point," signaling a cultural shift in how America viewed trans issues. She produced the acclaimed documentary Disclosure 2020, which examined the portrayal of trans people in media across decades. Through keynote speeches, global campaigns, and countless interviews, she has continuously pushed for equality, self-love, and respect for trans lives. Today, Laverne Cox stands as one of the most recognizable and respected black trans women in the world. Her journey from a bullied child in Alabama to an international actress and activist illustrates the power of authenticity. She is not just a performer, but a trailblazer who turned personal struggle into a movement for visibility and justice, inspiring millions to live without apology. MJ Rodriguez. Michaela J. Rodriguez, born Kevin. Michael Rodriguez, on January 7, 1991, in Newark, New Jersey, has become one of the most groundbreaking actresses of her generation. Growing up in a Puerto Rican and African-American household, she remembers feeling a natural pull toward femininity from early childhood. Although she often gravitated toward dresses and self-expression outside of traditional expectations, fear of rejection held her back from fully embracing her identity. With the support of her mother, who encouraged her love for the arts, Rodriguez studied at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center before pursuing theater at Berklee College of Music. These formative years gave her the discipline and voice that would later command the world stage. In 2011, she began her transition, adopting the name Michaela J. as a symbol of grace and authenticity. Rodriguez's early acting credits included stage work, most notably her portrayal of Angel in an off-Broadway production of Rent. However, her star truly rose when she was cast as Blanca Evangelista in FX's Pose 2018 to 2021. As the compassionate yet fierce house mother within the 1980s ballroom scene, Blanca quickly became a cultural icon, celebrated for her resilience and nurturing spirit. Do you think her portrayal of Blanca helped mainstream audiences better understand the struggles of trans women of color? Her role on Pose not only brought her global recognition, but also made history. In 2022, Rodriguez became the first transgender woman to win a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a television drama. This moment was more than an accolade. It was a seismic shift for representation, proving that talent and authenticity could finally break through Hollywood's barriers. Beyond her acting, Rodriguez has also pursued music-releasing singles that showcase her powerful voice and versatility. Offstage, she uses her platform to uplift marginalized voices consistently, advocating for greater visibility and acceptance of LGBTQ+ communities. Today, she lives proudly and openly as a woman, inspiring countless fans who see themselves in her journey. Rodriguez's career is still unfolding, but she has already carved her place in history as a pioneer role model and reminder that authenticity can change not just a life, but an entire industry. Indya Moore. Indya Moore, born January 17, 1995 in the Bronx, New York, grew up assigned male at birth in a world that often failed to understand or accept their identity. Their childhood was marked by instability, including time in foster care and periods of homelessness as their family relationships became strained due to their gender expression. Despite adversity, Indya displayed an unwavering sense of self-expressing femininity from a young age and confronting relentless bullying. These early hardships shaped a fierce resilience that would later define both their career and activism. By their teens, Moore had entered the world of modeling, quickly attracting attention with their striking presence and unapologetic authenticity. Stepping into the public eye, they adopted the name Indya as a declaration of individuality and self-determination. Their career took off when they joined the cast of Pose, portraying Angel Evangelista, a trans model navigating love, survival, and ambition in New York's 1980s ballroom scene. Moore's nuanced performance brought depth and dignity to a character often overlooked in mainstream media, earning them widespread acclaim. Do you believe Angel's storyline gave visibility to struggles that real trans women face daily in society? Beyond acting, Indya has become a formidable voice in activism. They openly identify with both she, her, and they/them pronouns, challenging rigid ideas of gender and encouraging freedom of expression. Using their platform, Moore advocates for LGBTQ+ rights, racial justice, and gender equality, often highlighting the intersections of oppression faced by marginalized groups. Their visibility as a Black Latinx non-binary trans person has been instrumental in reshaping how Hollywood and society views identity. Moore's influence extends into fashion, where they have modeled for luxury brands and appeared in major campaigns, proving that beauty and authenticity are not limited by outdated norms. Today, Indya Moore continues to balance a thriving entertainment career with fearless advocacy, embodying the courage to live authentically while demanding equity for all. Their journey from a Bronx youth facing rejection to an internationally recognized star illustrates not only the power of representation, but also the resilience required to claim one's truth in a world still learning to listen. Angelica Ross. Angelica Ross, born on November 18, 1980, in Kenosha, Wisconsin, has become one of the most influential voices for transgender visibility in America. Assigned male at birth, she recognized her femininity from a young age, but grew up in an environment that offered little understanding of gender diversity. As a teenager, she faced alienation and misunderstanding, yet these obstacles became the foundation of her resilience. Ross initially pursued a career in technology, excelling as a web designer and developer before fully embracing her identity as a transgender woman. It was during this period that she transitioned, choosing the name Angelica as a declaration of authenticity. Her leap into entertainment came with Ryan Murphy's hit FX series Pose, where she portrayed Candy Ferocity, a bold and unforgettable character in New York's ballroom scene. Candy's journey mirrored many real-life experiences of trans women of color, struggles with safety, belonging, and self-worth. Ross's performance resonated deeply with audiences, turning her into a household name and proving that transgender stories deserved center stage. Do you think her role as Candy helped break stereotypes and encourage empathy for trans characters on television? But Angelica's impact stretches beyond acting. She is the founder of TransTech Social Enterprises, an organization that provides education and job opportunities for transgender and gender non-conforming people in technology. By creating pathways to economic independence, she has empowered countless individuals who are often excluded from traditional workspaces. Her advocacy has extended to global stages where she speaks about intersectionality, equity, and the urgent need for inclusive policies in both entertainment and corporate sectors. Today, Ross balances her life as an actress, entrepreneur, and activist, proving that her influence reaches far beyond Hollywood. She has transformed personal struggle into professional strength, becoming a symbol of empowerment and a role model for trans youth worldwide. Her journey underscores the truth that representation matters, and her work continues to pave the way for future generations to thrive openly and unapologetically. Amia Scott, born January 11, 1988, in New Orleans, Louisiana, entered the world assigned male at birth, but knew early that her inner identity aligned with womanhood. Growing up in a conservative environment, she encountered bullying, rejection, and the heavy weight of societal expectations. Despite this, Amia embraced her femininity as a teenager, taking the bold step to transition socially and medically at a time when trans representation was almost invisible. Her courage set her apart, making her one of the first transgender women to gain fame through both social media and mainstream television. Her breakout role came on Lee Daniels' series Star 2016 to 2019, where she portrayed Cotton, a complex character, navigating identity, relationships, and ambition. Cotton's storylines resonated with viewers for their honesty and vulnerability, breaking new ground by placing a black trans woman in a leading role on network television. Do you think her performance on Star gave many people their first chance to truly see the challenges trans women of color face? Before her acting career, Scott was already a well-known figure in the LGBTQ+ community, admired for her beauty, confidence, and outspoken presence online. She also made headlines as the first openly trans woman to appear on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, though her time there was brief. Beyond entertainment, Amia uses her platform to advocate for equality, visibility, and mental health awareness, particularly for trans women who face disproportionate rates of violence and discrimination. Today, she continues to balance her roles as an actress, activist, and influencer. Her journey from a young person struggling to be understood in New Orleans to a celebrated actress on national television reflects her resilience and determination. Amia Scott's legacy is not only about breaking into Hollywood, but also about showing that authenticity, self-love, and persistence can rewrite what is possible for transgender women in the public eye. Dominique Jackson. Dominique Jackson, born March 27, 1975 in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago, is a shining example of what it means to transform pain into power. Assigned male at birth in a conservative Caribbean community, Dominique struggled with rejection and ridicule from an early age. Her feminine expression clashed with traditional cultural expectations, making her a frequent target of bullying and alienation. Despite these hardships, she held firmly to her identity, believing that living authentically was worth every risk. As a teenager, she emigrated to the United States, seeking freedom, opportunity, and the chance to finally live as the woman she knew she was. Immersed in New York City's ballroom culture, Dominique found both sanctuary and a stage. She quickly rose within the scene, mastering the art of voguing and becoming a striking presence in fashion and performance. The ballroom community gave her the validation and visibility she craved, while also sharpening the charisma and strength that would later fuel her career. Her breakthrough came with FX's acclaimed series Pose, where she played the fierce and commanding Elektra Abundance. Elektra embodied glamour, resilience, and authority, and Dominique's performance brought a level of authenticity rarely seen on television. Critics and audiences alike hailed her portrayal for its depth and raw honesty. Do you think Elektra's boldness inspired viewers to see trans women not as victims, but as leaders of their own narratives? Beyond acting, Jackson has been a strong advocate for transgender visibility, mental health, and LGBTQ+ rights. She often speaks about the violence and discrimination trans women face, using her platform to demand justice and equity. In fashion, she has modeled internationally, bringing trans representation to runways and campaigns once reserved for cisgender stars. Today, Dominique Jackson is more than an actress or model. She is a trailblazer who overcame systemic rejection to inspire millions worldwide. Her story shows that authenticity, even when born from struggle, has the power to move culture forward. Alexandra Billings. Alexandra Billings, born March 28, 1962 in Schaumburg, Illinois, carved out her path as one of the earliest openly transgender actresses in American entertainment. Assigned male at birth, she felt a deep connection to femininity even as a child, though she grew up in a time and place where understanding of transgender lives was virtually non-existent. Despite the stigma and isolation, she gravitated toward the arts, finding solace in theater and performance. The stage became her first safe space where she could experiment with self-expression while nurturing her immense talent. She transitioned publicly as an adult, an act of remarkable bravery during an era when opportunities for trans women were scarce, particularly for women of color. Choosing the name Alexandra, she stepped fully into her identity and pursued acting with passion. She built a rich career in theater, starring in numerous musicals and plays that explored diverse human experiences. Her authenticity eventually broke through television's glass ceiling when she joined Amazon's acclaimed series Transparent, portraying Davina, a trans woman navigating friendship and survival with quiet strength. This role brought her widespread recognition and proved that audiences were ready for real representation of trans lives. But Alexandra's influence extends far beyond the screen. She is also an educator, mentor, and activist deeply invested in nurturing the next generation of performers. Through workshops, speeches, and mentorship, she has guided countless LGBTQ+ individuals toward embracing their truth and pursuing their dreams. Do you think her visibility in both theater and television helped normalize trans representation for mainstream audiences? Today, Billings continues to act, teach, and advocate, living fully as a woman whose journey has inspired countless people. From a Midwestern child struggling with identity to a respected actress and role model, Alexandra Billings has proven that visibility, resilience, and authenticity can transform not only individual lives, but the culture of entertainment itself. Janet Mock. Janet Mock, born March 10, 1983 in Honolulu, Hawaii, is one of the most powerful storytellers and advocates for transgender visibility in modern culture. Assigned male at birth, she grew up in a multicultural family and quickly realized that her inner identity did not align with the expectations placed upon her. During adolescence, she began to embrace her femininity more openly, eventually adopting the name Janet as a declaration of authenticity. Education became her compass. She graduated from the University of Hawaii before earning a master's degree in journalism at New York University, skills that would later help her amplify her voice to the world. Her breakthrough came not as an actress, but as a writer. In 2014, she published her best-selling memoir, Redefining Realness, one of the first widely read books by a Black trans woman. The memoir peeled back layers of secrecy, detailing her transition struggles and triumphs. It resonated deeply, sparking conversations about race, gender, and identity across America. Janet went on to publish Surpassing Certainty, 2017, further solidifying her role as a literary and cultural force. Mock then made history in television when she joined the writing and production team of Pose, becoming one of the first trans women of color to hold such a prominent creative role in Hollywood. Her presence behind the camera ensured authentic storytelling for a community too often misrepresented. Do you think having trans voices in the writer's room changes the way their stories are told on screen? Beyond media, she is a global advocate consistently speaking about inclusivity, equality, and the importance of living unapologetically. Time and again, Mock has demonstrated that representation is not just about being seen, it's about shaping the narrative. Today, she thrives as a writer, producer, and director, inspiring trans and cisgender audiences alike to embrace authenticity and demand justice. Maya Taylor. Maya Taylor, born February 28, 1991 in Houston, Texas, entered life assigned male at birth, but felt an innate connection to femininity from a very young age. Her childhood was marked by poverty and instability with limited support for her gender identity. Despite these challenges, she persevered with determination, eventually beginning her transition in her late teens. Seeking both acceptance and opportunity, she moved to Los Angeles, where she became immersed in the city's LGBTQ+ community and began honing her craft in performance and modeling. Her defining moment came in 2015 with the indie film Tangerine, directed by Sean Baker. Shot entirely on iPhones, the film told the raw story of two trans sex workers navigating life on Christmas Eve in Los Angeles. Taylor's portrayal of Alexandra was lauded for its vulnerability, humor, and honesty. She made history as the first openly transgender actress to win an Independent Spirit Award, breaking barriers in an industry that had long excluded trans women from meaningful roles. This recognition not only elevated her career, but also spotlighted the need for authentic casting. Do you think Hollywood has improved in offering genuine opportunities to trans performers since Maya's historic win? Beyond her acting, Taylor has used her platform to raise awareness about the struggles faced by trans women of color, including discrimination, violence, and lack of opportunity. She continues to advocate for visibility in media and equitable treatment for marginalized groups. Today, Maya Taylor remains a respected figure whose journey from a struggling youth in Texas to an award-winning actress exemplifies resilience and authenticity. Her story reminds us that even in the harshest circumstances, truth and talent can redefine what is possible. Kitana Kiki Rodriguez. Kitana Kiki Rodriguez's journey is one of quiet resilience and unexpected stardom. Born in the Bronx, New York, and assigned male at birth, she grew up in an environment that offered little understanding or acceptance of transgender identity. From childhood, she felt a deep connection to femininity, though expressing this openly often brought stigma and bullying. These challenges, however, forged a sense of strength that would later define her path. As a teenager, she began her transition embracing her identity fully and finding affirmation within New York City's vibrant LGBTQ+ and ballroom communities. The ballroom scene not only offered refuge, but also gave her a stage to refine her artistry. Surrounded by peers who celebrated self-expression, Kitana gained confidence as both a performer and a woman. Her leap into cinema came with the indie film Tangerine 2015, where she starred alongside Maya Taylor, playing Cindy Rella, a trans woman navigating love, betrayal, and survival. Kitana delivered a performance bursting with raw energy and honesty. The film, shot entirely on iPhones, became a cultural phenomenon and was hailed for its groundbreaking representation of trans women of color. Her portrayal drew critical acclaim, thrusting her into the spotlight as one of the few trans actresses authentically cast in a leading role. Do you believe Kitana's performance in Tangerine helped challenge Hollywood to finally cast trans women in roles that reflect their real lives? Though she stepped away from the industry after her debut, Kitana remains a symbol of authenticity and courage. Her story demonstrates that even a single performance, when rooted in truth, can reshape how marginalized communities are portrayed. Kitana Kiki Rodriguez may not have pursued a long Hollywood career, but her impact endures as a reminder that trans women deserve not only visibility but respect on screen and off. Isis King. Isis King, born October 1, 1985, in North Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, became a pioneer for trans visibility in fashion and television. Assigned male at birth, she felt a strong disconnect between her assigned gender and true identity from a young age. Despite social stigma and family challenges, she gravitated toward feminine expression and held tightly to her dream of living authentically. By her late teens, she began her transition, adopting the name Isis as a symbol of her rebirth. Her first brush with fame came in 2008, when she competed on America's Next Top Model Cycle 11, becoming the first openly transgender contestant in the show's history. The moment was groundbreaking, bringing unprecedented visibility to trans women on mainstream television. Though she did not win, her presence inspired countless viewers and sparked vital conversations about inclusivity in fashion. She later returned for All-Star Cycle 17, cementing her place as a trailblazer. Beyond modeling, Isis pursued acting with credits including When They See Us and Equal. She has also worked tirelessly as an advocate, speaking openly about the discrimination and violence trans women, especially women of color, often face. Through public appearances, panels, and social media, she amplifies the message of self-acceptance and equality. Do you think her groundbreaking appearance on America's Next Top Model opened doors for a new generation of trans models? Today, Isis King continues to balance her modeling, acting, and advocacy careers, embodying grace, persistence, and authenticity. Her journey from a young person struggling in Philadelphia to an internationally recognized figure is a testament to courage and visibility. She not only redefined beauty standards, but also showed the world that representation has the power to change lives. Tracy Norman. Tracy Norman's life is a testament to breaking barriers in an era when transgender visibility was nearly impossible. Born in 1951 in Newark, New Jersey, and assigned male at birth, Tracy knew from an early age that she identified as female. Growing up in a conservative environment, she faced rejection and misunderstanding, but never let these obstacles prevent her from embracing her femininity. By the time she reached young adulthood, she had fully transitioned and set her sights on a career that few trans women of color could even imagine at the time: high fashion modeling. In the 1970s, Norman became the first Black transgender model to achieve significant success in mainstream fashion. She appeared in major campaigns, including Clairol hair dye ads and spreads in magazines where her beauty and poise captivated audiences. However, the industry was not ready to embrace her truth. For years, her trans identity was kept hidden, and when it was discovered, her career opportunities declined sharply. Despite this, Norman's pioneering presence left a mark on fashion, even if her recognition came decades later. Her story resurfaced in the 2010s, when she was finally celebrated for her contributions to modeling and trans representation. In 2016, Clairol honored her legacy by featuring her again in a national campaign, acknowledging her as a trailblazer. Do you think Tracy would have been an international supermodel if the fashion world had accepted her identity earlier? Today, Norman lives openly and proudly, using her platform to mentor younger trans models and advocate for inclusivity in the fashion industry. Her resilience demonstrates how perseverance and authenticity can outlast prejudice, and her legacy ensures that future generations of trans women will walk runways without having to hide who they are. Trace Lysette. Trace Lysette, born October 2, 1987 in Dayton, Ohio, and raised in Queens, New York, is a groundbreaking actress who has helped redefine trans visibility on screen. Assigned male at birth, she felt connected to her feminine identity from childhood, though expressing it openly often brought bullying and rejection. After beginning her transition in her late teens, she immersed herself in New York's LGBTQ+ and performance communities, where she sharpened her skills as both a performer and advocate. Her career took off when she landed the recurring role of Shay in Amazon's acclaimed series, Transparent. Shay's character, a trans woman navigating love and survival, was groundbreaking for its authenticity and depth, and Trace's performance received widespread acclaim. She went on to appear in Pose and other projects that highlighted LGBTQ+ lives, continually challenging Hollywood to offer meaningful roles to trans actors. In 2019, Lysette made headlines when she filed a sexual harassment claim against a high-profile actor, using her voice to speak truth to power in an industry often hostile to marginalized women. This act of bravery elevated her reputation as not only an actress, but also a fearless advocate. Her biggest breakthrough came in 2022 with the film Monica, where she played the lead role of a trans woman reconnecting with her estranged mother. The film premiered at the Venice Film Festival and earned her international acclaim, marking one of the first times a trans actress of color led a major dramatic feature. Do you think Trace's rise in film proves Hollywood is finally ready to embrace trans actresses in leading roles, not just supporting ones? Today, Trace Lysette balances her acting career with activism, speaking out about discrimination and pushing for equal opportunities in entertainment. Her journey from a young person grappling with identity in Queens to a respected actress on global stages shows that courage, authenticity, and talent can rewrite the narrative for trans women in Hollywood. Sandra Caldwell. Sandra Caldwell's life story reflects both the hidden struggles and the triumphant resilience of a performer who lived for decades in the spotlight while protecting her deepest truth. Born in New York City in the mid-20th century and assigned male at birth, Sandra grew up in a time when transgender identities were largely invisible and society had little understanding or compassion for people like her. From childhood, she felt an unshakable connection to her femininity, but the risks of expressing that truth were immense. Despite the secrecy she was forced to maintain, Sandra pursued the arts, throwing herself into theater as a space where she could experiment with identity and performance. As an adult, she began her gender transition and chose the name Sandra, fully stepping into her authentic self. By then, she had already started carving out a career as a stage and screen actress. Caldwell worked extensively in theater, including Broadway and off-Broadway productions, earning respect for her versatility and commanding presence. On television, she appeared in shows like Law & Order, SVU, and Soul Food, always delivering performances filled with nuance. For years, however, her identity remained a carefully guarded secret, as being publicly trans in the entertainment industry of her era could have ended her career instantly. It wasn't until later in her life that Sandra publicly acknowledged her journey, receiving long overdue recognition as a trailblazer. Her decision to come forward was not only personal, but also historic, offering inspiration to younger generations of performers. Do you think her decades of work in silence made her later public honesty even more powerful for the trans community? Today, Sandra Caldwell is celebrated not only as a talented actress but also as a mentor and advocate. She supports emerging trans artists and continues to speak about the importance of authentic representation. Her career proves that even when visibility is delayed, courage can reshape legacies and create space for future performers to thrive without fear. Nicole Maines. Nicole Maines, born on October 7, 1997 in Gloversville, New York, is one of the youngest and most influential trans actresses of her generation. Assigned male at birth, she realized at a very young age that her inner sense of self aligned with femininity. With the full support of her family, particularly her mother Nicole, transitioned socially as a child and later legally changed her name. This level of acceptance at home gave her strength to face the challenges that awaited her in the public sphere. Her story became national news in 2014 when she was the plaintiff in the landmark case Doe v. Regional School Unit 26, in which the Maine Supreme Judicial Court ruled that transgender students had the right to use bathrooms matching their gender identity. This victory marked the first time a state's highest court affirmed such protections, making Nicole a civil rights pioneer before she was even out of high school. Nicole's acting career took off in 2018 when she was cast as Naya Nal, also known as Dreamer, in the CW series Supergirl. As the first openly transgender superhero on television, her role was groundbreaking, offering young trans viewers a hero they could identify with. Her performance was widely praised, and Dreamer quickly became a fan favorite. Do you think Nicole's role as Dreamer helped normalize trans identities for audiences who may never have met a transgender person in real life? Beyond acting, Nicole is a vocal advocate for equality. She has written a memoir, spoken on panels, and participated in campaigns for LGBTQ+ rights. particularly focused on protecting trans youth. Today, she continues to balance her activism with a flourishing career in Hollywood. Nicole Maines' journey from a small-town child fighting for her rights to a celebrated actress and activist demonstrates how authenticity and courage can inspire change on both personal and national levels. Behind the bright lights of Hollywood are stories far more powerful than fame itself. Stories of Black trans women who were once secretly born male, yet rose to become icons of strength, artistry, and truth. From Laverne Cox breaking Emmy barriers to Nicole Maines stepping into the role of TV's first trans superhero, their journeys prove authenticity cannot be silenced. These women redefined beauty, talent, and resilience in industries that tried to erase them. But here's the real question. Do you believe Hollywood has truly embraced trans representation, or are these victories still only the beginning? Legends of Black excellence?